In a popular line in her book, Half of a Yellow Sun, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie said, "I am Nigerian because a white man created Nigeria and gave me that identity. I am black because a white man constructed black to be as different as possible from his white. But I was Igbo before the white man came." This brings us to a question of which path an average Nigerian would take when it comes to an issue of civic nationalism and ethnic nationalism. With this, I say welcome to another session of the Vigilant Podcast. I'm your host, Favor Eya, and with me right here in the studio is... Okay, right away, I'm going to explain how this has become an issue in Nigeria. This problem of identity, civic nationalism, ethnic nationalism. Before then, I would like us to have an idea of what these two terms actually mean. So, Elizabeth, please, we would like you to give us a layman's understanding, explanation of what this term, civic nationalism and ethnic nationalism, actually means.
Well, thank you very much, Favor. So, in the layman's understanding, when we're talking about ethnic nationalism, you're referring to nationalism that has to do with, your culture or your ethnic background.
Okay.
Let's say, for instance, I'm an Igbo person, a Yoruba person, from Nupe, like different kinds of,
Yes.
Nigeria has diverse ethnic groups. So that ethnic nationalism is talking about the bond you share by being part of that particular ethnic group. So you guys are standing together. So it's more like we have a nation of our own. That's where we exist. That's the identity we have. So we are supporting each other because we share similar cultural beliefs and all that.
Okay.
Now, coming to the civic nationalism, now we're not looking at I'm an Igbo person, I'm a Yoruba person, I'm an Hausa person, or this. We're talking about existing as one entity.
Yes.
So there is no individualism existing now when it comes to civic nationalism. So the concept of that civic nationalism, we say all of us are one, but the ethnic we say, you not be one, no. Okay. I be Igbo, you be Yoruba, so it's more like a kind of division, standing with your own people.
Okay, that's going from your explanation. I don't think this should actually be an issue. Someone saying that I am Igbo, I am Hausa, it shouldn't cause any problem. But looking at Nigeria now, this civic nationalism and ethnic nationalism seems to be creating issues. For instance, taking a look at the political aspect of the country, and I'll be using Twitter. I'll be using the platform as my background because, in Nigeria, I don't know for other countries, in Nigeria, most of the political issues, everything are mostly discussed on Twitter. So, this ethnic nationalism and civic nationalism, which shouldn't cause any issue, is rather being like a big bug on Nigerians' politics, unity, and everything right now. So I'll take us back to the election period when the country was at the point that we are trying to make the best decisions of our life. So it got to a point that once you enter Twitter and you click on anything, people are arguing. This person, we hear things like, is their people, tribe of thieves. The arguments were not quite making sense. So at the end of the day, we saw what happened at the election. That's that. But I would like to bring our mind to what someone posted on Twitter. That should be on the 2nd of November. This lady, Sarah Ibrahim, narrated something that happened to her. She said she went to a filling station to get fuel. So at the point that we are in a queue, and she looked back and saw this taxi driver and felt like, I should get something for this man, because she understood the economy and what everyone is passing through. So she now decided to actually get something for this man, pay for the fuel. So upon doing that, she now found out that this man had a particular party's logo or sticker on his vehicle. So she now tried to engage the man in a discussion. I was like, oh, you voted for this administration, how is it treating you and all that. So along the line of the discussion, she found out that this man voted for the administration not because they were qualified to his own understanding or anything. He voted based on the line that the person is from my place, and people from my place is actually our time to be in the position, whether qualified or not, it is our turn. So this goes a long way to actually say what the kind of problem that this ethnic nationalism is causing in the country. So I would like you to give your comment on this issue. Do you have any other, have you experienced something like this? Have you read through anything that is related to this?
Yeah, several occasions. Well, let's be very sincere with ourselves. The truth is that now, living in Nigeria, it happens in every nation, every country.
Okay.
Now, because before every country was formed, there happened to be, people like Chimamanda said, you quoted her when you started. She said, I was first an Igbo before what? Before I became a Nigerian. Okay. So that's what happened. People just come together and they merge different group of people and call them Nigeria, they call them America, they call them all this. So, but before then, remember these people had a place they were staying.
Yes.
They have an identity.
Yes.
Or let me say, there was an identity that existed. So it's more like you are not coming and say, oh, let's bring all of them despite, and you want us to live as one. We are humans. We cannot deny the fact that as humans, it is hard for us to stick together. There is still that part of us that will still be saying, this is your root, this is where you're coming from. So it's more like this woman now, she might not have done this base. Maybe she's not actually, I don't really know if she's a Yoruba person.
No, Sarah Ibrahim, I can't say.
Because she may be an Hausa person.
Yeah.
Now, maybe she reacted based on that she's an Hausa person, judging from the last name she has. Well, you can't really tell what ethnic group she's coming from. She could be a Yoruba person like this.
To me, I don't think she's coming from that perspective.
But maybe she's kind of coming from the angle that, do people still think this way?
Yeah.
I mean, how can somebody vote for the current leadership? This is actually the fate of the country. So you went to cast your vote, not because of the person is competent, but because of he's from your tribe, and you feel that, it's time for us to have power. So it means that there is not even a mindset for civic nationalism in this man already. Okay. Not just him. So it happens generally, and we have seen it severally. I mean, there have been arguments that will just spur up within your friends and everything, and it all bounds back to Igbo people they do Yoruba people that they won't doing it. So we can't just deny the fact that deep down within us there is this bias that comes with our ethnic, when we see somebody from our ethnic group, we want to side them even when they are wrong. I think something happened a few days ago when we were having some discussion with Mr. Odiawa. Something happened like that. We were actually coming from the angle of the cultural respect, Yoruba people and everything, due to the Rufai something. Now, your art boss favor, if you can be very frank with me, you actually were, in fact, what you were doing that moment was actually you trying to defend your people. You were not even looking at, we are Nigerians.
But in the bigger picture, it was because of Rufai, and Rufai is not my person.
I know, but then you were trying to, you shall linked it to the fact that, in Igbo land we don't do this, Igbo land they do this.
Exactly.
So the truth is that we ourselves, we just can't deny it. The bias is there.
It's true. So does this asserting the claim, what Obafemi Awolowo said in his book, Pathway to Nigerian Freedom, that Nigeria is just a mere geographical expression? Do you believe in that? Do you believe that Nigeria is a mere geographical expression? Because that's where all this is pointed to. If everybody start claiming that I belong to this side, I pledge my allegiance to this side, it goes a long way to say that this what the statement that he made in this book is actually true. Is Nigeria a mere geographical expression?
Sorry, like I really need to understand, because before I make comment, I really want to get, it is very vital that when you want to analyze something, you need to understand the context it's talking from. So from his statement that Nigeria is a mere, I want to understand, is he talking about that Nigeria just existing on a map? Like, I just really want to get what context is it coming from.
He's just saying that these people are in the actual sense, they are not people that are meant to be. So but because of some maybe colonial economic interests, they were just joined together. But in the actual sense, they have no reason to be together.
So we were not actually meant to be Nigerians. They just pushed us together.
It's just a colonial invention.
And so we are struggling to have unity.
Yes,
we are struggling to have cooperation.
Because I wouldn't doubt him. Following something that I read, like a news, I think Punch posted something on the 29th of October about some certain two women that were caught, Nigerians caught in India because of drugs. So that was a news, Nigerians, yes. So I just went to the comment section and I was reading some things that actually marveled me, and I was asking, what if I am like, if I'm from another country, how would I see? Like, if I was from another country and I'm reading this comment, what would be my view of Nigeria? So someone first of all said, I think we should start saying things like two women from the southeastern part of Nigeria. Okay, the next comment said, those women are Yoruba women with Igbo names. The next person said, very disappointed in them, keep spoiling our already bad image. Okay, this person is actually coming from a national angle. So the other person said, two Nigerian women, say their name, you lying criminals. If it is Hausa people, you write their name and their region boldly. The next person say, Adeze Jaye. Jaye is Yoruba name, Adeze is not Adeze, and the other lady might be from the Niger Delta region. So it was only a particular person that made something that said something that actually called me. Other nationals claiming to be Nigerians when nabbed for crime. So this would have been, if it is like in a country that is united, that this thing is not obtainable. Because looking right now in this comments, everybody is trying to secure their place. Yeah. Somebody is saying, okay, push it to the southeasterners, which are like, those are Igbos. They are known for that. Some other person is saying, looking at their name, these people are Yorubas and everything. So I was wondering, these are just the few from the whole lot that we have written there. So I was asking myself, what would be a foreigner's perspective of Nigerians if that person should go through this comment? It shows that there is this unity because people actually want to identify by their ethnic lines. They don't want to say I'm Nigerian. Like, if you're saying something, say that it's Igbo or Yoruba or anything. So this goes a long way to say the damage, to say how damaged this issue of ethnic nationalism has costed Nigerians. So what do you think about this particular issue? What is your view? What is your opinion?
Oh, you have said so much about it, so I really won't go more on that. But then I think there's a need to ask ourselves this question.
Yeah.
With all these tweet posts you just read and the tweet and everything and all that, and the issue of ethnic nationalism, civic nationalism, I think there's need to ask these questions.
Yeah.
What is the fate of Nigeria? Because to a great extent, majority of the problem we are encountering right now stems up from this ethnic nationalism. it goes a long way when there's allocation of resources.
Yeah.
It goes a long way when there's an appointment of ministers.
Yeah.
You just find out that there's a whole lot of sectionalism. You just see, somebody comes in as a bad person. He fills it in with his people from the west side.
Yes.
So it's not a matter of, now we have to be sincere as Nigerians. People saying that, I'm an Igbo before Nigeria came and everything. It has happened. Now, should we now say, because the white forced us to be together, does it now mean that we should split? Are we not going to be examining the damage it is costing us?
Yeah.
I mean, it is costing us war that should not happen. Even the Bible preaches that we should live at peace with all men. Yeah. So if we all say, we want to live in peace together, and we are talking about Nigeria, and now somebody is saying, I'm not in Nigeria, I'm Biafra, no, I'm not in Nigeria, I'm from Oduduwa. Like, the whole kind of, you are trying to separate an entity, and what happens when a body exists. Imagine there's a head, there's no hand and everything.
Yes.
It cannot function. That's the same way we like in Nigeria too. It's more like this ethnic group. We have come together. We have been together for almost, I think, how many years did we celebrate in the last independence? We have been together for years. So why can't we find a way to have a mutual agreement and exist as Nigerians, bearing in mind that we are all one? There's no need to start segregating and say, this should be this. I think if we can actually, that is the problem we have.
And you know what? It seems like it's not like it seems. It's obvious that some political villains or whatever, I don't know what to call them, are hijacking.
They bank on it. That is the major problem.
I can remember vividly during the EndSARS, things were going very well. Everyone we are united, like fighting towards a particular goal. All of a sudden, we started hearing things like, Igbo people plan they want to destroy Lagos because it's not their land. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, so before we knew what was happening, like that, some people started getting discouraged and they want to destroy our land. These foreigners, these strangers, because of that, are no longer in participation and withdrawing, and no longer lashing the government because of what they have done, and no longer against SARS. So, do you understand? These things are meaningless, yet they are causing disruptions. And okay, looking at the past presidential election, a good number of people were campaigning like for a man that we know that this man is capable in every ramification. All of a sudden, we started hearing things that he's from a tribe of thieves. That is an Igbo. Like, I know. At the end, I tried to make sense of the whole thing.
How did they even put it? It was like, Peter denied Jesus Christ to be died. So it's like he was going to deny us after he enters. I mean,
I'm just looking at how this very little thing, which is actually good. I don't see anybody saying that I'm from this place and I'm proud of it. Bad. It's a virtue that should be upheld, but it is now going out to be causing problem in the country.
Yeah, it is when where it becomes a problem is where, Nigeria is actually filled with many uneducated people. Okay. That is the problem we have in Nigeria. The level of illiteracy is so high, and even the educated ones, I know we're not educated properly. So now that's where it is. See, ethnic nationalism is not bad. It is good to stand. But the problem now comes where you, in cases where you are meant to stand with a civic mindset, looking at the whole picture and studying in Nigeria, you become biased. And because it is your brother who is involved or somebody from your tribe, you now start taking sides. That is when it becomes bad, when we now overlook the necessary things that need to be done. So I think that's where, and that is the problem we have in Nigeria. Not just politics. In every sector we face.
Let me add something to
even when you want to get admission, most times in my school, if you enter an office, if you can't speak the dialect, they won't answer you. You will stand for us.
Does it make sense?
Walks in. So apart from ethnic, it even happens in all these. Let's not even go there.
So if I should add light to what you're saying, it means that when it comes to the issue of civic nationalism, ethnic nationalism holds no water, because let me say it this way. For instance, there is the constitution.
Okay.
which is guiding the whole country.
Alright.
But then there are other little organizations. Yeah, let me take for example the EFCC.
Okay.
They are in the smaller picture. There are laws, whatever laws that is guiding the EFCC is like on its own. Then in the bigger picture we have the Constitution.
Okay.
So if there is a case that needs to be sorted in a national level,
Okay.
the laws of the EFCC, which is actually good because it's guiding that organization.
Okay.
But when you now put it side by side, maybe let me say in the court, in the Supreme Court, you cannot compare the Constitution and the EFCC rules or whatever. No matter how good it seems to be, the Constitution brings it hands down. So what I'm trying to say is that in as much as ethnic nationalism is good and should be upheld, but when we are talking about things that concern the country as a whole, I think we should actually drop that and take hold of this civic nationalism, which is the big thing. That's the big umbrella that is holding us as Nigerians.
Well, Favor, I have to put this to you that you just said something is actually a recommendation you're giving.
Yeah.
Then let's start. Let it start with you and I.
Yes.
Because in as much as we are saying this and people are going to be listening to this podcast, I feel that it should start from us.
Okay.
Because in one way or the other, we are also
I
do
won't
this
lie,
a lot.
yes,
So
yes,
it should
if we
start
should be
from
honest.
us. If you are saying that we should place more priority on civic nationalism than ethnic nationalism, then it should start with us in our daily lives. When we encounter situations that requires us to stand on Nigerians' interests, we shouldn't say, oh, forget I'm a Nigerian, where am I coming from? So I think that's the only way we can have a better solution.
I want to bring this in. There is something very interesting about the United States.
Okay.
Let me take for example a child that their parents are from, let me say your parent is from somewhere, another state, but then you are born in a place like Indiana.
Okay.
Irrespective of where your parents are coming from, you as a child, you are a native of that Indiana. So imagine like the child is growing up, he doesn't like hold any, how will I put it? He doesn't hold on to that I'm from my parents' place. Like he's growing up with the mindset that this is my own place. You understand? I don't care wherever my parents are coming from, but I was born in this state and this is where I identify. So let me say like in Nigeria, someone is from Enugu State. And then you are born in another place like Jigawa. If they should apply this system that I'm talking about right now, you are born your parents are from Enugu and you are born in Jigawa, or like automatically you become a native Abi, I don't know, indigenous of that very Jigawa state. So this goes a long way to inculcate that mindset that irrespective of my background, I can be a part of any place in Nigeria. So imagine if I am a native of Jigawa and somebody is trying to talk down on Jigawa, and I have that, though I'm Igbo, but then Jigawa is I think Hausa state. So imagine me as an Igbo, but I was born in Jigawa and I've been told by my government that you are from Jigawa. You cannot talk down on Jigawa where I am. I will try my best to defend that Jigawa state, irrespective of my parents being from the east. So I'm thinking that this is actually a good.
But then it can actually present a problem in the sense that while you are looking at it from that angle, that child who has a consciousness in him that I'm a native of Jigawa, now happens to grow without a mindset of his own culture. So he actually will be speaking for the Jigawa people.
Yes,
and the people.
Yes.
So it's not like these things actually there are two sides to the coin.
Okay.
So get it. So
okay.
people are like, well, is an Igbo person speaking for the Jigawa people and all that.
Okay, so I'm not actually saying that they should implement this very system, but I just want to, it's like a model, something you can look at and say, oh, like when people don't really feel attached to a particular person, it can actually help unity in a bigger picture.
But my recommendation will be, rather than we adopting the American system, because adopting another system from another country to Nigeria might actually cause more chaos, which we don't want.
Yes.
So I will recommend that as Nigerians we should be more open.
Okay.
The truth is that I don't know, wherever you find yourself, maybe you grew up in the West, you're an Igbo person and everything. I mean, you should develop a mindset that we are one. I think the solution will come from our parents, the older generation. If every parent, while their child is growing up, they don't make us feel, oh, don't play with that Yoruba child. You know, parents do it a lot. So if it can stem from our parents, they should try as much not to corrupt the minds of those children while they are young. So when they grow up, they don't have this kind of, anger against other tribes. Make them feel, oh, my dear, if you meet a Yoruba person, they are your brother, so Awusa is your brother. I mean, that child grows up with a consciousness that, oh, we are all one. So irrespective of the person's tribe, because of he or she was brought up with that consciousness, it will help produce a younger generation of people who are united. That is why during the election we saw unity. I mean, that was the first time in the history of Nigeria that the youth came together, irrespective of tribes. Yoruba people were voting for somebody who was why? Because I think there's a kind of revolution happening. The youth are coming together to see that there is no need we standing divided. Okay. Because divided we fall, but united we stand. So the solution to this is every parent out there, please try as much to bring up your child with the mindset of one Nigeria. Okay. And that is why Timi Dakolo sang that song, We Are One, We Are. So I think the problem is stemming from our parents. They actually caused this. And they are coming from an history of long-aged, it kind of
a cake
that has been happening. So they are coming with that mindset. I mean, mom and dad, we are the younger generation. And we don't need a better Nigeria will only come when there is a united voice. Okay. But when there is a kind of, you are speaking, I'm speaking, nobody is speaking. So that, I think, that is my own recommendation.
Okay,
that if we can implement things, we will see changes.
Okay, in addition to what you have recommended, I also want to say that no matter the 250 ethnicity existing or more than existing in Nigeria, the truth which we should face is that we have found ourselves in this country, and the sooner we start doing things in unity, the better we become for it. So the thing is that we can't escape this, whether it is a mere geographical expression like Awolowo said, or some other things that any other person would call it. The thing is that we are already there. Let's say that we are stuck in the country. So what should we do in order to achieve a particular goal or gain something that would benefit the whole country? What we need is that unity. Let's just leave whatever differences or any other issue and believe that, let's have that mindset that we are stuck in the geographical expression. So we don't have any other choice rather than to unite, just like Abraham Lincoln said in his speech, that a house divided against itself, you cannot stand. You cannot achieve any good thing once you are divided. So like the popular saying said that united we stand, divided we fall. I think that Nigerians, especially the young growing ones, the coming generation, should adapt this lifestyle of embracing the unity that we are already in this. So we have to sort it out together, whether it be the design of colonial masters or whatever. We can't do anything about it. So what we have to do is to look forward. How are we going to go forward? And the way forward is uniting and having one voice. Without one voice, I don't think there's any other way out for Nigerians. So
we are preaching unity on today's podcast. Yes, we are preaching unity.
So thank you. I really acknowledge you guys for joining on today's podcast, and I believe that we start acting rather than talking much on issues. With this, I say a very thank you to all of you all for joining on this session. I'm still your host, Favor Eya.
And I'm your co-host, Elizabeth Fidelis.
Thank you and bye.